Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo and we're here at the Cambridge Los Angeles showroom in West Hollywood, and I'm here with Beatriz and Christine with their movie Killed in Action. Let's take a look at the clip.
You must be Mr. Klein.
Where did the time go?
I was so thrilled to receive your letter. You're the first soldier I've met who served with Don.
Is that so?
Were you with him when he was killed?
It's actually why I wanted to meet you.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have asked.
Look away.
Why did you come here? What do you want from me?
Beatriz, Christine, thank you so much for being here and thank you so much for your film Killed in Action. For those that haven't seen it, tell us a brief synopsis of your film.
So Killed in Action is set in 1948. It's post-World War II America, and it's about a widowed housewife whose husband died in the war, and she is visited by a soldier who fought alongside him, and she finds out a little bit more about what happened overseas than she wanted to know.
Yeah, no, most definitely. Where did the inspiration come for you as the director, writer, and the actress?
Well, I've always loved period pieces, and as an actor, that's always exciting to jump into a period piece. So I wanted to make something and helm it and make it my own. But oftentimes with a war film, you never see the women. You always see the men on the front lines. In World War II in particular, you always see like a locket of a woman or a picture in the wallet, and that's it. And I wanted to explore what her inner life was and what is happening while half the country is gone off to war, what that experience might be, and kind of to juxtapose it with a soldier's experience with PTSD, which was not something that is often showcased for World War II, and kind of juxtapose those two experiences.
When I watched the film, I'm glad that you said all those things, because I really thought that, firstly, we don't see enough films, particularly from the wife's perspective or the children's perspective or just the family's perspective in that time period, which was really refreshing. And secondly as well, like, you know, just kind of what the things that we know about today, you know, that you just mentioned, PTSD, but the thing about it is that back then we weren't talking about it so much. You know, we knew about shell shock in World War I, and we sort of knew about that. But World War II, again, there was effects, and we didn't really know how to deal with them.
And there was this desire to put on a strong face.
Yeah.
That, you know, if you were having this trauma, to kind of cover it, to deny it, and so I wanted to explore that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, also as well, you're also challenging yourselves as well when you're doing a period piece. What was it like for you as a producer, Beatriz, to take on a 1948 period project and think, what do I do here?
You're welcome.
Honestly, I was so excited. I mean, I'm also a big fan of period pieces, and for all of the reasons that Chrissy was saying earlier, it was such an interesting piece in itself, and then the fact that it was period sort of added this other element to it. And I was like, I'm excited about this. I'm ready for this challenge, and it was fun for us to sort of put together a team of people who could help us tell this story. And we were so lucky with our cast and our crew.
Well, our incredible production designer, Buffy Morton, she, I mean, turned that kitchen into an immaculate, accurate portrayal.
Exactly, 1948 kitchen, and then our costume designer, Dana Olinsky, just even in the meetings with her, she was talking about things like, oh, well, she would wear this bra and she would wear, so the dress would fall a certain way and like look a certain way. And talking about different materials that would have been around. So we were able to get people who were top notch in their departments and department heads, and they were able to help us bring this to life. So it was a challenge, but it was also really exciting to work with all of these people who were able to help us.
Well, you had a great team. I mean, really, I'm one of those people that loves to like watch like a really look at, you know, but you guys were just absolutely spot on. You know, I mean, I didn't recognize you when I saw you last night on the screen. I was like, is it? But yeah, like what's happening? But yeah, no, sorry, you were saying.
Well, I was going to add to that one of the things in doing the period, we wanted it to be a little rough around the edges in the sense that so often when you see a period piece, it's so glossy, you know, everyone, and like in terms of hair in particular, which Tara Gray-Lee, who did our hair, was incredible.
Fantastic.
When I talked to her about it, I was like, I want hairs out of place. Like a woman does her own hair, and I don't know about you, but like my hair doesn't look perfect most of the time. And I wanted it to feel that way because when you watch a period piece and like the outfit is perfectly fitted and the hair is perfect, the lips aren't, you know, like she has fresh red lipstick the whole movie. I wanted it to kind of have that sense of like a person lives in this home. It's not just, you know, a showpiece of the perfect home.
Yeah.
You know, it shouldn't look like a showroom, but instead it should feel authentic. And I feel like our team pulled that off in spades.
And then even Rachel McCon, who helped us with the food,
Oh my
like
gosh.
just helping us prep everything, she did a research about like, oh, this is what they would be eating at the time, and like I'm gonna buy these ingredients to make it look like what it would be like at the time. Yeah.
I also, you know, something that's very significant in the time period as well is just what you spot on did in the writing was just, you know, how differently, you know, we reacted then, you know, particularly that sort of like post-war 1950s, like we're in this perfect American family, we don't talk about our issues, and you know, and women had such a different role then as well. You almost like, I was just hoping she would just like speak out and shout, because hopefully in 2017 we've slightly, you know, it's slightly changed, but you know, back then it was just so difficult for a woman, you know, to have to just kind of keep all that together and just, you know, and you wanted to feel you wanted her to express what she was feeling. Was that something you were self-conscious about in the writing as well?
Yeah, I think, you know, in my own grandfather, he served in World War II, and while he didn't, to my knowledge, have any traumatic experiences like the character in the movie, he never spoke about it. He was very proud of his service, but he never talked about, and I never heard about it. Yeah. And even my father, growing up, never heard about it, and it wasn't until the 80s when a Japanese historian, because my grandfather fought in the Pacific, and a Japanese historian reached out to my family because they tracked him down because he was a pilot and he'd shot down the number 3 Japanese flying ace. And my family had no idea because he just never spoke about it. And it you know, that sort of, that's not polite discussion. You just keep that in, and so that's something I really wanted to explore, because even nowadays, I mean, I hope if Alice were in this situation, she would speak up and speak her mind and say how it was wrong and tell her husband.
I wanted to get that meat and just like on
Right.
the head, you know.
But you know, even now, I think we kind of keep things in because it's not polite, or that we wouldn't want to go there. That's, you know.
But it was nice because you took it from that perspective, you know, and I think we forget, you know, particularly World War II was such a massive impact on the world, the World War, and what that actually how that affects the family, and you know, especially post-war as well.
Well, and in doing a period piece, I think you have an opportunity to speak about present day in an interesting way. You know, you can talk about, I mean, even the idea of alternative facts, and you know, like he had his story and she decided to have her story, and that's what I want to stick in my reality because it's safer for me. And I think it's interesting, by doing a period piece, you can kind of talk about those things in a more obscure way.
Yeah, we still do that today, don't we? Alternative facts.
We're not that far.
But so what was the biggest challenge for you both? Was there any challenges for you as a producer, and you wearing your 3 hats as well, Christine?
Yeah, I mean, there were, I think, your normal challenges. I think the biggest one for me was we had a 1-day shoot. We were on...
You did it in one day?
It was a 1-day shoot.
I don't know. These guys are geniuses. I have no idea. It's insane.
And, you know, it was loading in the morning, and we had to be out of there
the set
by
was
the end of the
dressed
day.
that morning.
Yeah, we had to get in there and just sort of turn over the entire house in one day. And so it's like, we have one shot and you have to get it done in this one day, and then if not, that's it. But we were, like I said, because we had such a great team, we were able to get everything done, and we were so thrilled with the final product.
Team is everything, isn't it?
Oh my
It really
goodness.
is.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and-
Well, and I feel like with wearing the many hats, that of course is a challenge, but because I knew we had 1 day and I knew I was wearing multiple hats, I think our planning process was so immaculate, and like I did storyboards of the entire thing, which I think
Wow.
if I were just directing and not acting, I might have done a shot list,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't
Yeah.
have been as specific. But going into it, everybody on the team knew exactly what shots we needed to get, and so they could dress the set to be that. The cinematographer, he knew exactly and how to achieve it. And so when I showed up on set, when we were ready to do the first shot, it was like, oh, this is the storyboard, but way better. Like my whole team turned this into something that, what I thought, and just made it even better.
Yeah, that's wonderful, and obviously, it does flow better when you're all in sync with each other, and you can certainly tell that in the filmmaking as well. You really can tell when things are sharp, and certainly
Well, and a number
you'll
of the
portray
team
that.
members we've known for so long.
Yeah.
The DP, Bobby Lamb, I went to college with, and Kevin Rosenquan, who did sound. And so, like, having that sort of shorthand, and then we met years ago doing Squaresville,
Yeah.
a web series, and then, the whole team was, pockets of our life coming
That's
together.
great.
And I
Right.
think
And so many people had to work together, like you said, in different capacities, so you do have a shorthand, I think.
What's it? Now, last night was a very special event. We partnered with the Weinstein Company, and then we also were celebrating veterans and people with the effects of war. What was it like to have your film screened not only in front of the new Filmmakers LA audience and having selected, and the Weinstein, but also in front of veterans? What was that feeling like?
I mean, incredibly exciting and also a little nerve-wracking. I mean, I think making a film, I haven't served, and while I know many people who have, I wanted to make something that was accurate and but also complex. I didn't want it to be sort of just an idea of what service would be or what World War II life is like. And so having an audience who had experienced this and had a different, perspective on it, I was really excited to share it with them, and also nervous. But
Yeah,
as any
but it's
filmmaker.
always good to be
Yes.
nervous, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
We got from all the response that we've had so far from even friends of mine who are veterans. We've gotten a good response, so that's always very comforting. We were nervous at first, but it's always very comforting. I think when you're hearing from people in the community who are like, "Thank you so much for making this film. Thank you for speaking about this."
But one of our partners last night, the United States Veterans Artists Alliance, were just so in awe that we were embracing a connectivity between veterans, people being affected by war, people fighting for their country, and the movement image, and just I think it really meant a lot to these people that served for our country, and I just think that was remarkable that you chose a story like that as well, because unfortunately we still got our problems today, and it doesn't stop, and I think it was really fantastic. So thank you both for that. But what's next for both of you or individually?
To get off the ground, then B is going to be
Oh,
producing.
when you got your team, you've got your team,
yeah,
right?
That's right. That's
What
right.
genre is it?
It's not a period piece.
It's not. You're changing it
Yeah, and
up.
we'll do it in more than one day.
Yeah. Might take a bit longer. Yeah.
But it is a modern noir set in San Francisco with
Oh,
a female
nice.
protagonist.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, we certainly, again, we're certainly embracing on bringing that, and we have got a long way to go to reach that equality in filmmaking as well. So I'm glad that you're making a film with a female protagonist. What advice actually do you have, like, for any filmmaker out there that wants to go and make their piece?
I think get out there and do
That's
it.
what I was
Yeah.
Even I think, for instance, with this, I had written the script a few years ago and kind of let it sit on my computer and was like, well, it's a period piece. I don't have the resources. I can't make this. And then sort of slowly I would kind of throw out like, oh, I've got this script. Then I mentioned it to B, and it was like, oh, that's really neat. Let me read it. Oh, let's make it. And I was like, yeah, but how are we going to afford this? And there's always going to be obstacles in making a film. That's just, in anything that's important, there are going to be obstacles. But if you just take the most immediate step, you don't have to look at the end of the line where you're going to land, but just take one step toward it. So getting a producer, then it's like, okay, well, what's next? And Micah, who stars opposite me, I had worked with on another film, and he had read the script and was like, why aren't you making this? So then you get that, and then slowly somehow the pieces come together. We ended up doing a Kickstarter, and then we made the film. And at the beginning, it was just like overwhelming of how would we ever do it. But if you just take that one step, somehow you get there
It all
eventually.
comes together.
Well, look, I mean, here you are having your film selected, doing really well in the festival circuit, and that's fantastic. And that's the nice part of it, isn't it? Is after all the hard work, you've actually, you know, people out there seeing your film and loving it as well. So, listen, Beatriz and Christine, thank you so very much both for being here. We really appreciate it, and thank you for your film. And we're looking forward to seeing much more of your work as well. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.